The PS Alpena. The Alpena was 197 feet in length, 27 feet in breadth, and had a depth of 12 feet. She was also rated at 654 tons displacement. The Alpena was driven by a steam engine, and for propulsion she had a pair of 24-foot radius wide wheels, and installed power a single-cylinder vertical beam steam engine. She was a Class and type paddle wheel steamship. She was also operated by the Goodrich Line after being purchased from the Gardner, Ward, and Gallagher in April of 1868. The Alpena left Grand Haven, Michigan, and was bound for Chicago on Friday evening of October 15, 1880, at 9:30 p.m. The weather was fair and beautiful, summer-like. However, the barometer was beginning to indicate that a storm would be forming, and signals were out. The Alpena was spotted on her southwest journey by the crew of the steamer Muskegon at around 1 a.m. Again, everything seemed normal. However, at around 3 a.m. on Saturday, October 16, 1880, the worst gale in Lake Michigan recorded history swept over the lake. The Alpena was seen again at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and at 8 a.m. by the schooner Irish, and by Captain George Boomslider, or Sluter, if I'm saying that correctly, of the barge City of Grand Haven. This was when they were about 35 miles off of Kenosha, Wisconsin, and they were in heavily high seas at the time. Also, several other vessel captains reported the Alpena lying on her side at the time. Several other vessel captains, one of whom reported that he saw the Alpena lying on her side with one of her paddle wheels out of the water. And this was spotted again for the next several hours. 10 carloads of apples were stowed on her main deck, and some even speculated this cargo may have become unmanageable during the storm, shifting and causing her to list and eventually capsize. Further reports indicated that the Alpena may have drifted north the rest of the day, and perhaps even into Sunday morning, then back toward the east side of the lake. The wind began to shift to the west/northwestern and brought debris onto the beaches at Holland, Michigan. The weekly Holland City News reported on October 23rd that the wreck is complete. She was broken into small fragments, and the stern part of her hull lies near the harbor. The whole coast for around 20 miles is strewn with debris, freight, and many other things. The largest piece to land near the Holland was a piano from the Alpena. It was barely floating, and our sailors concluded that she did not go very far. At least 60 to 80 people died when the Alpena capsized and sank in the middle of the lake, which she was on her trip from Grand Haven, Michigan to Chicago, Illinois. The loss of life is estimated to be around 60 to 80 people, consisting of about 25 crew members and about 35 passengers. Well, it seems pretty clear to me, or at least from what I can gather of what happened to the Alpena. I mean, going from Grand Haven down to Chicago, and this big blow storm on the 15th of October. Man, that must have been some pretty horrendous rough seas, although maybe when they saw the barometer forecasting a storm, I don't know why they didn't cancel the trip, or maybe they thought they could tough it out, but dang, around 80 people dying on it, crew members and passengers, capsizing, and I'm sure those waves were pretty severe, probably 20 to 40 feet high if I had to guess. That's usually around the size of the waves that usually sink other ships, like in Superior or Huron or whatever. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about what may have contributed to the Alpena sinking. Sounds like she was both packed with not only people but cargo as well. The apples and other freight that must have come loose and probably helped make her list and then eventually roll over in the storm. Just an unfortunate situation, and just sounds like, you know, what happens to ships way back then on the Great Lakes. But yeah, that will do it for this ship video. A bit of a shorter one compared to the other recent ones, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'm enjoying this series a lot so far, and I do again look forward to the next ship video to come in the future here. So, God bless you all, and have a good night, and thank you for listening to Songs of the Great Lakes.